Hello and good morning, dear viewers, right here at Good Morning Kuwait at your favorite family channel, KTV2. And I say good morning not just to me, but also to Abdullah Hindiani, and welcome, good morning to our amazing show, actually.
Thank you, Nasser, and thank you for the viewers who are tuning in. You know, I've had lovely imsak today, so I'm feeling amazingly refreshed. I'm feeling great. You know, the Ramadan is in full effect. I'm feeling the fast. Hopefully people can feel the fast as well going smoothly. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful episode.
So talking about imsak, what's your favorite food for imsak?
You know, I've gone through a lot of dedication and thinking about this, a lot of trial and error, because I know that, you know, slow digestive carbs, and this is maybe get into too technical, are, you know, the best way to go. So I always try to have my, you know, before the imsak, slow digestive carbs and slow proteins like eggs, you know, or whole wheat, you know, breads and everything, just to keep you going until the midday.
That's very technical and scientific, but for me it's just balalit with egg and that's it. All right, dear viewers, don't go away because we have still more to uncover right here at Good Morning Kuwait. We're going to have a short break and we'll be right back.
Some traditions never fade. They are woven into the very fabric of who we are. The warmth of a mother's hand, the simple moments that rooted our story. From the clay of yesterday grows the light of our today. A new morning, a bigger family, but the same enduring love. Embracing the dawn together. Good Morning Kuwait and Ramadan Kareem.
تؤكد جمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي جاهزيتها للاستجابة للطوارئ والكوارث في ظل الأوضاع الجيوسياسية الحاصلة في المنطقة. جمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي تعمل من ضمن منظومة إنسانية متكاملة مع مؤسسات دولة الكويت من حيث الاستجابة السريعة وتجهيز المتطوعين من ضمن أفرقة مختلفة للاستجابة للطوارئ في سرعة قصوى. يعد متطوعين جمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي من المتطوعين اللي تم تدريبهم مكثفاً في الإسعافات الأولية والاستجابة للكوارث والاستجابة الميدانية. تؤكد جمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي جاهزيتها الميدانية ورفع جاهزيتها من حيث الاستجابة للطوارئ في حالات اللي يتم ندائها. بالنسبة للمخزون الاستراتيجي لجمعية الهلال الأحمر الكويتي فإحنا على أتم الاستعداد للاستجابة في حال النداء من قبل مؤسسات حكومة دولة الكويت.
Did you know that over 42% of medical equipment is either not functioning or not being optimally used?
Well, according to studies published in the National Library of Medicine, this waste isn't limited to resources. It directly impacts the efficiency of healthcare and the patient care. So let's welcome David Chandikar, a biomedical engineer supervisor. Hello.
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 Good
Hi.
morning.
Good morning, doctor. And how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning, Kuwait. Have a blessed Ramadan.
Thank you so much, and Ramadan Kareem to you. So, moving to the National CSSD Support Network, what is this initiative about?
Yeah, the National CSSD Support, which is a full form of Central Sterile Supply Department, is a network which is a professional collaboration initiative for CSSD operators. Its core idea is simple: no sterilization department should face a critical situation alone.
Now also, does the CSSD support network replace the accountability of individual hospitals?
Not at all. Each facility remains fully responsible for its operations. The network acts as a safety net, not a replacement. It supports facility when responsibility is tested by an unexpected events.
All right. Well, thank you so much, David Chandikar, for this amazing call. And you are a biomedical engineer supervisor. And thank you so much. And until next time, thank you so much. And how about this, dear viewers? How about we go for a short break and we'll be right back for more right here at Good Morning Kuwait.
Air medical service, the air ambulance is a medical aircraft specially designed and fitted with a medical equipment to facilitate the transfer of sick and injured individuals, as well as to accommodate accompanying medical personnel from one location to another over medium to long distance. Life Flight Kuwait is the first aeromedical operation in Kuwait using 3 aircraft Bell 429s for operation in Kuwait and 2 Medivac Challenger 605 jets for international patient transfer. Our mission is to transport patients from emergency location in Kuwait to hospitals, transport of patients between hospitals and transport of patients to and from Kuwait and international specialized hospitals. Medivac jet and aircraft air ambulance is fully equipped with the best, such as a transport ventilator, infusion pump, a heart monitor, long-range oxygen-based cabin with the 7,000-liter suction devices with an emergency defibrillator, AC power supply device with the health monitor, in addition to many other medical devices. We have a dispatcher department and maintenance department and air medic and the pilots. The dispatcher procedures and their work, providing expected weather reports and air traffic control data, preparing a ground equipment instruction and air guidance, and ground and air safety. The maintenance, they are ensure the validity of aircraft and engines, replacement and modification, inspect essential equipment and follow the strict safety regulation of the FAA. Pilot, they are develop flight plan, conduct pre-flight checks, pre-order helicopter checks, balance and operate the helicopter loaded to accommodated patients and medical staff. In case any emergency, do not hesitate to call 112.
What essentially we're doing is we try to start the treatment that is supposed to be given by the nurses and doctors inside the emergency room in the field. So we are just a bridge and also part of the hospital system, the health system of Kuwait, in providing medical care. In the end, in case of an emergency, don't hesitate to call 112. Be safe.
في أوقات الحروب والأزمات تكثر الأخبار وتتضارب الروايات وتضيع الحقيقة، ويصير الجو مثالي لانتشار الشائعات والمعلومات المضللة. وقتها كل واحد فينا أمام خيارين، يا نكون صمام أمان أو نكون وقود للقلق والارتباك. ترى الإشاعة ما تحتاج أكثر من إرسال، لكن الوعي يحتاج وقفة وتحري ومسؤولية. عشان كذي المسؤولية الاجتماعية اليوم تبدأ من شاشة التليفون اللي بيدك تقدر تبني وعي أو تنشر فوضى. مو كل شيء نشوفه نشاركه، ولا كل شيء نقرأ نعيد نشره. خلنا نوقف شوي، نتأكد ونتأنى ونسأل من المصدر، شنو الهدف؟ مصدرنا الحقيقي هو المنصات الرسمية وجهات الدولة المختصة. والله يحفظ ديرتنا ويحفظ بلاد المسلمين من كل شر وسوء.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and you know the program always tries to cover all sectors that could be in the interest to all of our viewers.
Yeah, so one of those segments was medical tips that are important to cover, especially in this great holy month. So let's go take a look at this report and let's see what they have to say, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, Kuwait. My name is Sunita Matthew, and happy to be here. I'm a biomedical engineer, and I've been so since 1996, a long time now. We've seen a lot of different products and different needs over time, and today we're going to focus on our special angels with special needs. When children have certain disabilities, we need to address how they will move around the house, how will they get out of the house, how will you position them. One of the biggest problems is that they don't have positional control themselves, so they will flop over or they will fall to the side. And this is where they need special wheelchairs that will allow them to sit up and be supported in the chest, in the trunk, their hips, so they can sit up straight. If a child with special needs, if an angel, one of our angels with special needs, is unable to sit up for a long period of time, they develop postural deformities, and this in turn makes life very difficult for them as they grow up. We're looking for special wheelchairs that can position them in a good way, keep them neutrally aligned to prevent difficulties in their future. So we have special needs wheelchairs. We have special toileting options where they can sit up and do their bathroom needs. And then if they want to do activities, again, postural control is extremely difficult for them. So we have special seats like this where they can sit and do their activities. Occasionally, when they need to have special bathroom products, we have special frames that a family member can take and put into the bathtub, position the child safely, and then be able to bathe them and carry out all their hygiene needs. The need for this is to keep the patient safe as well as the caregiver safe. It's very difficult to help someone with a disability go through all the hygiene, the bathing, safety, toileting, and instead of that, a frame allows this activity to be done safely. So that's why we have a toilet safety frame. We also have special skincare products that are organically made, and they help to preserve the skin of the child, especially when they're using a diaper for a very long time. Then you want to use special creams and special spreads that will allow the skin to stay soft and be protected from the moisture that comes from the urine.
And we're back again, dear viewers, right here just for you. So her journey as an interior decorator, upscaler, and owner of a vintage and antique store started as a young girl, America, as she was immersed in the world of refurbishing and redesigning.
And and also thanks to her grandparents who instilled the skills and love for breathing life into old homes and furniture. Their mentorship laid the foundation for her passion. It is a flame that continued to burn bright even as she dedicated 25 years to that field of education. So let's see this report.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Kenya. I'm an interior designer and the curator of Design Store. And welcome to my workshop. It's dusty, it's full of colors, it's full of paints, and it's full of new ideas. Today I'm going to talk about upcycling furniture. People may not know, but the landfills around the world are filled with thousands of tons of furniture. Furniture that can be upcycled, can be recycled, and can be hacked. Still very good pieces of furniture, but people sometimes just don't have the skill or ideas on what do we do with it. So I'm going to show you a piece that I absolutely love today. I found this beautiful piece. It may not look so beautiful on parts, on the side of a curb here in Kuwait. My husband fondly calls it dumpster diving, and I take that with pride. Somebody had put this out on the street, and in fact, it's solid wood, And when I open it up, we can actually see that it's from Ethan Allen, which we know is one of the top brands of furniture in the world, one of the best made, highly quality pieces of furniture. And this little beauty was just there waiting for me. Although you can see from the top, she's severely scratched. She's been used with a lot of love, a lot of very deep scratches. So somebody thought, you know what, that's it, it's done for. We can't do anything with it. So it's time to give it that's absolutely wrong. So what I've done with this piece is just sanded it down. And with sandpaper, of course, there's different sand grits, which I'll show you in just a second. So we sanded down to get through all of this stain off, and then to get those deep scratches off. And then I just mixed a little off-white paint with some water, brushed it on, wiped it off, and put a clear wax on top. That's called whitewashing furniture. So that's one technique that you can do that's very easy and very simple. And if you want to learn, you're welcome to stop by our shop anytime, and we'd be happy to show you. So with the sanding, depending how deep you want to go or how soft. So sandpaper comes in different grits. Whenever you look on the back, you'll see different numbers like 150, 240. And when you fill them, and here's a 400, and here's a 40. So they go from 400 up to like 6,000. The lower the number, the harder the grit is. So you can get out very deep stains. You can actually cut metal with them. So with this one, I actually started with a 120 to try to get through all of the stain that's on here. And then I went a little bit deeper to get those deep, deep marks out. So I went down to like a 140, 250. And then at the end, I want it to be very smooth. So then we'll use like a 400 just to go over it and smooth it all out. You can use a 5,000 grit paper on acrylic, on epoxy to smooth out any sort of lines that you have, and it won't show any scratches. So that's what we did with this beautiful piece, and imagine what you could do with it. You could use it as a side table, a bedside table, you could use it as a stand, entrance, anything. The possibilities are endless. And we have another piece that we've just picked up that I'm going to be working on, and we would love to hear your opinion. So when we get pieces like this that are solid wood and will last your family for generations, we can just strip them and put a clear coat stain to show the beautiful graining of the wood and the natural color of the wood. We can paint them with a chalk paint, which we'll talk about in another segment, which is with minerals. Or we can also spray them with a sprayer as well. And now in 2026, we have very deep colors coming in our color palettes, beautiful burgundies and plums and very deep greens and deep rich golds. So I'm thinking to do something like that. We would love to hear your ideas. So if you think of a color that you would like or the stain, send it in, let us know, and we're going to take your ideas and see what we can do with this beauty.
رسالة لكل ولي أمر. اليوم مسؤوليتك أكبر. حفاظك على هدوء أسرتك وحرصك على متابعة المصادر اللي يتابعونها أبنائك لمعرفة الأخبار هو خط الدفاع الأول داخل كل بيت، وبإيدك أنك تكون مصدر الأمان لهم مو مصدر القلق. الدولة أعلنت أن المخزون الاستراتيجي من السلع الغذائية في وضع طبيعي ومطمئن، وأن الكميات المتوفرة تغطي احتياجات المواطنين والمقيمين دون نقص. ووزارة الصحة أكدت أنها في حالة جاهزية كاملة مع تعزيز المخزون من الأدوية والمستلزمات الطبية وضمان استمرارية الخدمات في جميع المستشفيات والمراكز التخصصية. وكذلك شبكات الاتصالات تعمل بصورة طبيعية دون انقطاع، ومنظومتا الكهرباء والماء يقدمون خدماتهم بكفاءة واعتمادية عالية. دورك اليوم تحرص على هدوء المنزل، تبتعد عن الشائعات، تتابع القنوات الرسمية، وتطمئن أبنائك بأن فترات القلق والاضطراب نقدر نتجاوزها بالتزامنا بالتعليمات. الكويت بخير، ومعا نحافظ على أمنها واستقرارها.
And we're back again, dear viewers. So, medical equipment is fundamental to modern healthcare, playing a critical role in the prevention, diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of illness. But what happens when they become unfunctional? This is where the HealthtekXchange initiative comes in to promote sustainability in the healthcare sector by repurposing surplus medical equipment and supplies and transforming what is currently underutilized into real value that serves the patient and reduces waste. So let's welcome Engineer Hussein Al-Saigh, health technology consultant, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nasser. Thank you for having me on board Kuwait TV too.
You're welcome anytime. So everyone talks about sustainability in general. So where does this play as a role in what you're trying to do in your initiative?
Sure. Normally when we speak about sustainability, we talk about conserving the environment, for example, because the human race have been for the last few decades and even centuries consuming the natural resources and impacting the environment. However, we're talking here today about sustainability in healthcare. So what's the issue? Healthcare is one of the most expensive things or services that usually a nation will provide or a state will provide. Usually 10 to 15% of the national GDP is actually spent on healthcare. So what actually we have been facing here in Kuwait is an incremental and a consistent increment in the healthcare budget of about 6% annual increase in the budget, which means that we are spending more and more without an end. So here the sustainability initiatives comes into the picture, and our initiative at HealthTek Consultancy, we have brought to the attention of the community, our healthcare community, an initiative to conserve the waste and conserve the resources in healthcare. So every hospital and healthcare center spends a lot on medical equipment. Around 20% of any healthcare project is actually spent on equipment, and more is spent on supplies regularly. So do we really need all of these equipment? Are we buying enough supplies? Are we buying supplies that will meet our current need and our near future need? Yes, this is what we should do. However, unfortunately, what is happening because of lack of expertise from some of the centers is we are buying a lot of everything. So in a fear of losing the service, sometimes a patient comes, we wanted to put him on a ventilator, for example, then in a fear of losing the current ventilator, we buy another one and a third one sometimes even, which is not totally correct.
So it's like a backup for the backup also.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly, which is not a good sign. Actually, what we should do in that case is we should maintain the machine very well and have also some contingency plans in case the first one breaks. Then we should probably have only one additional per hospital, for example.
So we have to make sure that that the equipment is maintenance is on spot.
Exactly.
And at the same time, just at least have one backup.
Exactly.
All right.
Now, what happens if the second backup is down? Should we buy a third one? Of course, it doesn't make sense, okay? There is a chance, but this is a very little chance. So it doesn't make sense to invest more into capital equipment and buy backup for the backup for the backup. So what we are proposing here at HealthTek is actually cooperation between different health facilities. So in case Hospital X run into an issue where he or she is missing one piece of equipment that is actually the backup, we can just pick up the phone, call the second center nearby, and we tell them, hey, we have an issue with our ventilator and we are really in need of that. Can you please send us any surplus ventilator that you have? And please follow the protocol. And that's our role at HealthTek. We are helping the centers to define the protocol during exchange of equipment. Now that exchange could be for money, or could be free of charge, or it could be simply again, a cooperative or collaborative effort where we help each other at a free of charge, for example.
So right now, Kuwait is an initiative of sustainability. So how can what is exactly that you do can help in sustainability in Kuwait?
Yeah, as you know that ESG has become a really mandate on every corporation here in Kuwait. So in that sense, healthcare societies healthcare institutions should follow the same mandate. So at some point in time, they will be obligatory. It will be obligatory on them to also report ESG to the state itself. So what does that mean? That means that we really have to have a plan for sustainability. We should really make sure that whatever equipment we're buying at the moment is enough for our services and shall maintain enough resources even for the near future. So this initiative will definitely save Kuwait either on public sector or private sector, because both are actually pouring into the healthcare services, and both are impacting the health economy of the society and the state itself. So both of them should have a plan, and we are helping them in putting those plans, and then we are helping them also to monitor the execution of such plans.
All right, so another question is, if we want to pivot, so reusing something that's already used, people are kind of scared and worried about it. So how can you address it in the way that you can tell them it's okay, we can still reuse something that is used?
Of course, reusing or using any machine from one patient to another patient requires a certain procedure in terms of disinfection and sterilization sometimes. So the protocol is already there while using the machine cross-patient. Now, what comes or what is new here is actually we're moving the machine from one hospital to another hospital. And that requires a special transportation for some of the medical equipment. And that also requires to have some kind of an agreement on the protocol and the procedure for sterilization. So initially, there used to be a procedure that is internal within the health facility. Now the same procedure has to be also become reliable for the other facility, and both will be accountable for such exchange. Now this comes to medical equipment. However, there are also disposables, and health facilities spend a lot on consumables and supplies. I'll give you an example which happens every day on daily basis in every hospital, and I'm pretty sure our viewers today will agree with me. Sometimes you buy a machine and that comes with certain consumables. Again, the ventilator is a good example. Ventilator requires some breathing circuit, which is basically a special type of hose that allows the patient to be assisted while breathing. Now, most of the ventilators today use what we call a locked system. So you cannot just buy any hose from any supplier and hook it into the machine and you expect the machine to run properly. No. Most of the machines have a locked system where you have to use only tubes, hoses, or consumables from the same manufacturer.
Okay.
So what happens if let's say, if my machine goes obsolete, cannot be used anymore, or it goes down to the limit that I have to discard it? And then I have dozens of those breathing circuits in my store. What can I do? Okay. In that case, this is what we are helping also our community by bringing all health facilities currently in one WhatsApp group, for example, asking them to share any surplus, whether it's a piece of equipment or dozens or boxes of consumables and disposables.
All right. So in general, like if we put this practice into reality, how sensitive is it?
Actually, it's in the contract. Every move, every action that we take has pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. However, in our case here, we have more advantages. Again, there is a huge surplus in every hospital, not only in Kuwait, not only in GCC. I'm talking about the whole world. There are huge piles of equipment usually laying down somewhere in the corridor in that hospital. and there are piles of consumables also laying down in our store. That's bad for the environment, because at the end we will discard them, and then we'll need a good disposal policy for this. And this is really a waste of the medical resources and healthcare resources.
Of course, it will hurt the environment before it actually hurts us, and then it will come back at us in one day. And at the same time, I mean, having all of these different equipments with different types of fabrics and different, it will actually affect it. They're not all biodegradable, as you say.
Exactly. So that's the impact on the environment, which we should all be, really concerned about. However, there is also indirect impact on the patient itself. So what happens usually? Hospitals spend a lot on, for example, an MRI machine. However, because of lack of managing or proper management of resources, so we spend a lot on imaging, on MRI. However, we spend less on consumables. So, I mean, you can check in the newspaper, there were news that sometimes in one hospital, they went out of gauze, for example. And gauze is really required for disinfection or even for surgeries or during surgeries. So it is really bad to have an MRI state of the art while having not enough stock of gauze.
Yeah, which is a very basic medical equipment or use.
Exactly,
gauze,
exactly. So what we should do is balance. And that balance is not easy. So again, with our initiative, it becomes even easier because everyone is open to or every health facility is open to the other one. And then once we need something, okay, we will immediately get it. That's, by the way, a good analogy of what our mothers used to do. So when they used to run out of salt, pepper, tomatoes, okay, we just knock the door to our neighbors and get something from them.
Very true. So could you tell us, like, in a conclusion, where do they actually meet with each other, which is sustainability and your initiative at the same time? How can they work to better Kuwait, and then how can we better it outside?
Again, sustainability means spending and consuming what is enough for today without compromising what is really needed in the future. And this is what we are doing. By sharing our resources, exchanging our surplus, what we are doing is actually conserving our spending and also conserving our environment.
So basically taking responsibility in the sense of being very cautious of what you're using, when to use it, making sure you disinfect it, and it also giving awareness to people that reusing is not something wrong, so that you don't give that scarce to people.
Exactly.
So who can practice in these initiatives?
Again, every hospital and health center is welcome to join us, okay? You can find more information on our website, and then we will invite you to become part of our community.
All right, amazing. So it's actually an amazing job that you're doing right here, and I hope you're doing, you do even more so that other people can have this kind of awareness, and you would share this information between people. It's amazing that you also have a website. I did not know that. It's actually good. Do you actually also give, like, for example, like special, meetings or let's say,
Definitely this is in our plan. However, we did not start yet. Now we have started only as an electronic community. And in near future, definitely, when we get on hold of the major, let's say, hospitals and healthcare providers, we'll definitely have also meetings, physical meetings.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Hussein, for actually being with us today. We hope that you actually do your best at this field. And as we know that we're now in the initiative of basically sustainability, and we hope that actually this grows together in the near future, and we can actually have a hand in help in this. All right, thank you so much, and we hope to see you soon. All right, dear viewers, thank you so much for being with us. This was our guest, Engineer Hussein Al-Saigh, a health technology consultant. How about we take a break, and we'll be right back.
رسالة لكل ولي أمر. اليوم مسؤوليتك أكبر. حفاظك على هدوء أسرتك وحرصك على متابعة المصادر اللي يتابعونها أبنائك لمعرفة الأخبار هو خط الدفاع الأول داخل كل بيت، وبإيدك أنك تكون مصدر الأمان لهم، مو مصدر القلق. الدولة أعلنت أن المخزون الاستراتيجي من السلع الغذائية في وضع طبيعي ومطمئن، وأن الكميات المتوفرة تغطي احتياجات المواطنين والمقيمين دون نقص. ووزارة الصحة أكدت أنها في حالة جاهزية كاملة مع تعزيز المخزون من الأدوية والمستلزمات الطبية وضمان استمرارية الخدمات في جميع المستشفيات والمراكز التخصصية. وكذلك شبكات الاتصالات تعمل بصورة طبيعية دون انقطاع، ومنظومتا الكهرباء والماء يقدمون خدماتهم بكفاءة واعتمادية عالية. دورك اليوم تحرص على هدوء المنزل، تبتعد عن الشائعات، تتابع القنوات الرسمية، وتطمئن أبنائك بأن فترات القلق والاضطراب نقدر نتجاوزها بالتزامنا بالتعليمات. الكويت بخير، ومعا نحافظ على أمنها واستقرارها.
You know, Kuwait has a large variety of customs and tradition which gave rise to a colorful and extensive culture reflected in the Diwaniyya and Al-Sada weaving. The people of Kuwait also have special love for the arts, literature, theater, music, and dance.
Very true, and I attest for that. But what about the other country traditional textiles who are renowned for their intricate patterns, vibrant colors, and exquisite craftsmanship? In this segment, we will try to show you different traditional heritage in the Middle East and international countries. So let's see this report, and we'll be back with you.
Good morning, Kuwait. Taglasam Kalmali. Wanda Subo Auni Sogoma. Me and Mohammed Al Mawludak Hamid from Mali, from Timbuktu, Mali. The most important about Mali tradition is our art, who talking about our history, who talking about our existence since lot of centuries. So yeah, so here you have some most amazing pieces from Mali, all handmade. Actually for us, like these pieces, each one has made by silver and then with the different metals. So actually we are not counting, as we said, for us as indigenous and traditional handmade, we are not counting the time. We don't have the watch, we have the time. So each piece can take 1 to 2 or 3 or even 1 month to the time. The most important things is how you finish it, how it will be done. That's the most important, the result of your time. Ramadan in Mali is something amazing, is something which all the family getting together. Then each person like getting chance to do almost the most beautiful things he can do with his family and all the people who belong to our different tribe and all that, getting people together. What I'm wearing is traditional, actually traditional Tuareg outfits. The Tuareg people is the first indigenous people in this region of the Sahara Desert. So this is our traditional wearing, like the suit we wear, the wallet, and then the turban, the Tuareg turban, we call it tagelmus in the Tuareg language. This is made in leather, all made in leather and hand embroidery. All what I'm wearing is almost the most traditional pieces who representing Mali, especially the Tuareg tribe. I want to say them thank you so much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala barik fi rizqahum wa umrahum, and then baraka Ramadan Mubarak.
مبارك عليكم الشهر وتقبل الله طاعتكم. لتجنب حوادث عبث الأطفال داخل المنزل، نحرص على عدم ترك الأطفال بمفردهم لضمان عدم عبثهم بالمصادر الكهربائية والحرارية والغاز. منع الأطفال من التواجد في الغرف لوحدهم حتى لا يتم العبث في قفل الباب مما قد يؤدي إلى احتجازهم داخل الغرفة. منع الأطفال من استخدام المصعد لوحدهم. إذا كان هناك مسبح داخل المنزل يجب مراقبة الأطفال عند السباحة وعدم تركهم بمفردهم. عدم السماح للأطفال بدخول المطبخ واستخدام الأجهزة الكهربائية. سلامتكم مسؤوليتنا.
في أوقات الحروب والأزمات تكثر الأخبار وتتضارب الروايات وتضيع الحقيقة، ويصير الجو مثالي لانتشار الشائعات والمعلومات المضللة. وقتها كل واحد فينا أمام خيارين، يا نكون صمام أمان أو نكون وقود للقلق والارتباك. ترى الإشاعة ما تحتاج أكثر من إرسال، لكن الوعي يحتاج وقفة وتحري ومسؤولية. عشان كذي المسؤولية الاجتماعية اليوم تبدأ من شاشة التليفون اللي بيدك تقدر تبني وعي أو تنشر فوضى. مو كل شيء نشوفه نشاركه، ولا كل شيء نقراه نعيد نشره. خلنا نوقف شوي، نتأكد ونتأنى ونسأل من المصدر، شنو الهدف؟ مصدرنا الحقيقي هو المنصات الرسمية وجهات الدولة المختصة. والله يحفظ ديرتنا ويحفظ بلاد المسلمين من كل شر وسوء.
During the 4th century BC, Alexander the Great begins his campaigns throughout the region. He arrives in Mesopotamia, and once he arrives there, his advisors bring him reports about the nearby regions and islands. One of the islands that were described to him in very vivid detail was Failaka Island at that time. So impressed by the island and its description of being a lush forest-type island where people would hunt wild deer and wild rabbits, a temple dedicated to the goddess of the hunt, Artemis, there. He was impressed by it, and so ordered the island be renamed to the island of Icaros, sister island to the one in the Mediterranean. Following his death in 323 BC, Seleucus Nicator, the founder of the Seleucus Empire, ordered colonists from the Greek islands with their families to come over to Failaka Island and establish a community there. They established several what are today archaeological sites. Most notable is the Hellenistic fortress of Failaka. At this Hellenistic fortress, many things were discovered, all related to the Greek culture. However, more interestingly, is that the fusion between the Greek culture and the local culture was managed to fuse together in an amazing cultural synthesis that created its own unique style. One of the most important archaeological finds at the Greek fortress on Failaka is the Icarus stone, found in 1960 by Danish excavators. This stone contained a royal message, which we believe was from Antiochus III, ruler of the Seleucid Empire, to the local ruler of the island. In the royal message, he decrees that the citizens' rights are to be respected, that agricultural land is to be distributed, that exemption from taxes was to be imposed on the citizenry of the island, all to encourage prosperity and stability throughout the region. In 2025, the Icarus stone in Kuwait was added to the World Memory List registry. This is why it's always important to be aware of our local history. The Icarus stone and many other artifacts like it represent an important part of our identity as citizenry today. And so being aware of our history allows us to preserve it for generations to come.
Unfortunately, dear viewers, I think that's it from us, the team of Good Morning Kuwait. Hopefully you've had a brilliant, fasting, brilliant time watching this episode. That's it from us. I'm Abdullah Hindiani. Goodbye from me.
All right, dear viewers.